Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be me sharing 3 recipes using boxed cake mix. The first recipe is coffee cake. It's probably the simplest recipe there is in this entire video because all you do is make the boxed cake mix according to the package directions, and then you mix together a cup of sugar, a cup of brown sugar, which is completely optional. If you don't like brown sugar, you don't have to use that, and like 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. You can go heavier if you like to. We like a lot of cinnamon in this coffee cake. And no, this is not a packed cup of brown sugar. So when I say a cup, I mean loose. Okay, so when the cinnamon sugar mixture is all mixed together, all you have to do is layer into a cake pan. You do half the batter on the bottom of a sprayed 9x13 cake pan. Then you do about half of the cinnamon sugar mixture. You don't have to be accurate here. I'm not. It's just gets dumped on there. And then you do the other half of the cake batter and the rest of the cinnamon sugar. And it's not going to be perfect, the second layer, but it doesn't matter. It's going to get covered with frosting after it bakes anyway. And then you just bake this at 350 for the amount of time it says on the back of the box. I think it was like 23 to 28 minutes, if I'm correct. So this is what it looks like when the cake is out of the oven. Yes, I know it doesn't look like it's done. Trust me, it is done. It doesn't get golden brown on the top because you did put the cinnamon sugar mixture on the top, but it is done. Then, while that's cooling a little bit, you mix together your frosting. This is just powdered sugar and milk. Do I measure? No, but I had about 2 cups left in this bag, and I start with about 4 tablespoons of milk, maybe less, and I just add until I get to the consistency I want. If you want a thicker frosting, don't add that much milk. If you want a thinner frosting, then go on and add more milk. It's just, I don't measure frosting because there is a recipe for it. It's 3 cups sugar and a half a cup of milk, and I think that's just too runny. So basically, I just add sugar and milk until I'm happy with the consistency, and then I dump it on top of warm cake. And you can serve this cake while it is warm. That's honestly the best way to do it, because after it's been in the pan, if we still have leftovers the next day or a couple days later, I pop it in the microwave for a few seconds. That's just how I like this. I think it's best served warm. And no, it does not have coffee in it. I don't know why it's called coffee cake. My grandma just has called it coffee cake my entire life, so that's what I call it. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to make hot chocolate cake or hot cocoa cake. Technically, when I found the recipe, it was called s'mores cake. But for me, a s'more means it has some kind of graham cracker. So I'm changing it a little bit, and it's going to be hot cocoa cake because it's basically what it is. It takes a box of chocolate cake mix. I use the Duncan Hines because that's my favorite. A pack of hot chocolate mix and a pack of instant pudding. This is a sugar-free. It's all they had in the store, unless it was a big box, and it doesn't need the big box. So we're just going to use the sugar-free. I don't see it hurting anything because it's already going to have a ton of sugar in it. Then you're going to need 1 3/4 cup of milk. That's for the cake mix, like the cake batter. And then you top it with marshmallows, and optional is melted chocolate at the end. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's been all mixed up. And the funny thing is the texture is not what I thought. It's more like a chocolate mousse than a cake batter, which I find really interesting. Okay, so now I'm just going to spray a 9x13 pan. And the dumping's not going so well. But dump the batter in it. That's weird. It almost set up a little bit as it was in the bowl waiting for me to prep the pan. I have never made a cake with the batter with this consistency before. It's so weird. And I have put pudding in cake mix before, so I don't. Switch over to a spatula. This does get topped with chocolate chips. It says half a cup, but I'm just going to kind of eyeball. So this is what it looks like before it goes in the oven. And now it's going to bake. Oh, damn. Now it's going to bake at 350 for 35 minutes. Okay, so this is what it looks like after it came out of the oven. Now I'm just going to top it with the marshmallows. All I had was the jumbo marshmallows, so I had to cut them in half. If you have the mini marshmallows, go right ahead, use those. I don't know how many it's going to take. I'm just going to place to my heart's desire because it's supposed to be hot cocoa, and I like my hot cocoa with marshmallows. Okay, so now the marshmallows are on it. I'm going to put it back in the oven, but I'm putting it under broil, and I'm not walking away from it. Okay, so is it aesthetically pleasing? No. Are they burned? No. They are not burned, but I did not realize how fast that would broil. That was literally less than a minute. But now the optional part is to put chocolate over this. You can do melted chocolate or whatever. I'm going to do chocolate sauce. So this is what I'm going to use to drizzle over the top.
One thing that I find is, like, if I'm making time for something
So that's what the hot cocoa cake looks like when it's done. Okay, so this is how you serve this cake. It's optional, top it with Cool Whip. But I want a Cool Whip on top of mine because that's how you serve it. Or Ready Whip would be really good. But if you're not eating this like hot out of the oven, I would heat it in the microwave for a few minutes. And it is so freaking good. Okay, so the final recipe in this video is called Reese cupcake. My brother found this recipe on a TikTok video, and showed it to me and said, "You're making me this." So basically that's how this cake came about, and I just filmed it because why not? But it takes a box of chocolate cake mix, just prepared according to the package directions, and then you'll see why it's called Reese cupcake. After that cake has somewhat cooled, you will melt a cup of peanut butter. I microwaved mine at a power level 7 for 30-second increments until it was a pourable consistency. Because what you're going to do is poke holes in the chocolate cake and pour the melted peanut butter over the top of it. And this does not sink down into the holes like you're thinking it would, because I thought it would just sink into the cake. And it does a little bit, but some of the peanut butter, if not most of it, does stay on top of the cake. While that is cooling completely, I made the frosting, which is just peanut butter, powdered sugar, and milk. If you want to make an actual recipe for peanut butter frosting, go right ahead. I don't remember if there was an actual recipe on this video, and if I can find the original video for it, I will link it down below, but I don't think there was. It wasn't really a recipe. It was more or less the guy just showing you how to do it. Because I remember asking my brother, is there a recipe? And he goes, no. So I'm not sure there actually was a recipe, but I just did peanut butter, powdered sugar, and milk until I got it to the consistency that I wanted. It will be a little bit chunky. It's going to look like you used chunky peanut butter, even though you didn't. Which you could if you wanted to. But I just used creamy peanut butter because that's what we had. But this is what the frosting looked like after it was done. You just need enough to cover the top of the cake. And then when that's done and the cake is completely cooled, make sure it is completely cooled. You just frost the cake like you would any other sheet cake. And when you top it with chopped Reese cups, and which is optional, you can top it with Reese's Pieces as well. In the video the guy did, and I did after my brother came home and saw it and went, "It's supposed to have Reese's Pieces on it." But top it however you would like. And then after you topped it with the Reese's Pieces, serve it up. I will add that this cake is extremely rich, so you don't need that big of a piece of it, but it is extremely good, and I would make it again. I would make all of the cakes that I made in this video again, give or take the coffee cakes, a family staple and has been for years. But I would definitely make all of these cakes again. So that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. I have one more dessert video coming out before Christmas, so be on the lookout for that. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.